not so interesting product most people turn out. Research also tells us that your resume will be quickly scanned. You know about this, the scanning process that most organizations send their resumes through. So you may submit your resume to an organization for a job application and think that some person is going to pick up your resume and look at it. A lot of large organizations are using a scanner these days. So your resume not only has to, what is that? So your resume not only needs to look good, but it needs to be targeted. It needs to be targeted to the specific job that you are applying for. Because if it's a job for, let's say, human resources specialist, do you think that your resume is going to be picked up if you have job skills, let's say, working in restaurants all your life, or working in restaurants, or drugstore, working as a pharmacist? You know, do you think your resume will be picked up by a scanner? Probably not. So they're looking for work. For work that has to do with human resources. Anything that has to do with human resources, maybe equal opportunity. So your resume really needs to be targeted. And whether it's going to be sent to a scanner or not, the specific job that you're applying for, your resume should be targeted specifically for that job. Starting with the objective statement, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit here. I don't have a real solid answer for it, but unless you have,
I think also education is going to play a key in that. If you are looking to transition from one field to another, if you take some kind of courses, even if you get a certificate to put on your resume, they look at that.
yes.
So to go just from cashier in the grocery store to say anything in administration, they want to see that you're taking some type of computer courses. So to invest in yourself is important.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Sister Noel. That's of the utmost importance. And they will look at that. They'll look to see if you have any type of training, if you have any certifications, any experience at all in the field that you're applying for. If you don't have any type of experience and training in the field that you're applying for, I mean, think about it. You know, why should they hire you? You know, you're thinking about that prospective employer, and if you were the employer, you would want somebody to come on board that has some background in that area. 10 to 20 seconds is all the time you have to persuade a prospective employer to read further. 10 to 20 seconds. So your resume, the first page, the first paragraph has got to be on it. It's got to be eye-catching. What this means is that the decision to interview a candidate is usually based on an overall impression, the first impression of your resume. A quick screening that so impresses the reader and convinces them of the candidate's qualifications that an interview is the result. As a result, the top half of the first page of your resume will either make you or break you. By the time they have read the first few lines, you have either caught their interest or your resume has failed. This is why we say that your resume is an ad. It's an advertisement of who you are. You hope it will have the same result as a well-written ad to get the reader to respond. To write an effective resume, you have to learn how to write powerful but subtle advertising copy. Not only that, but you must understand that you are selling a product. So if you have something, how many of you have ever had garage sales, that you posted garage sales or yard sales, and you have this one thing that you really, really are trying to get rid of, and you want to get a good price for it? How are you going to describe it? How are you going to advertise that item that you really want to sell? You know, you're going to give it some very descriptive. You're going to say that it's excellent, that it's, you know, it's strong, it's, you know, not used, you know, slightly used, that type of thing. You're going to use some very flowery and strong adjectives to describe that product or that item. You're going to do the same thing with yourself. You are advertising yourself, okay? What's worse, given the fact that most of us do not think in a marketing-oriented way, you are probably not looking forward to selling anything, let alone yourself. I'll tell anybody that I'm not a seller, I don't want to sell anything, don't give me anything to sell. But you have to think of yourself as a product, and you want to sell yourself. You're not meeting this person that's going to either select you or not select you for an interview. So if you're not sitting across from that person face to face, you want your resume to do the talking. If you want to increase your job hunting effectiveness as much as possible, you would be wise to learn to write a spectacular resume. You do not need to hard sell yourself or make any claims that are not absolutely true, as this young lady said. You know, you don't want to fabricate skills or experiences that you don't really have. You don't want to, lie on your resume, because that will very soon come to fruition. You know, if you fudge your resume and you do get an interview and you're sitting there in front of the person, they're going to start asking you, tell me a little bit more about this. And you're going to be,